Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're here to talk about episode 5 of The Most Notorious Talker Runs the World's Greatest Clan. We definitely see a whole bunch of really weird and crazy things going on as we go through this episode. We start, of course, with the idea that Alma keeps saying that she is now Noel's big sis, and we put that in quotes. And yet, her big thing seems to be, despite the fact that there is like a 5 or 6 year age gap between the two of them, with her being the elder of the two, that she is gonna put the moves on him every freaking chance she gets. And the thing is, he's not into it. He is not interested, and she just doesn't seem to be able to take no for an answer. Fortunately, Noel is not the kind of character to take that kind of behavior lying down, and much like we would normally see a female character schmooking a dude for this kind of thing, we actually get to see this in reverse, which is actually what makes this whole situation at least somewhat funny and refreshing within the tropes of an anime behavior and what would happen in an anime show. Of course, nobody wants this in the real world, but that's beside the point. It's definitely interesting to see the usual trope be inverted and messed with like that. The next thing that we see that's really interesting is the idea that Noel seems to be trying to work to get this guy off of death row in prison because Noel doesn't think that he committed the crimes he's been accused of, and more importantly for Noel and his own personal goals, Noel is interested in recruiting this guy to join his team. He seems to be working with someone who has an incredibly unique ability to be able to change their appearance so that he's able to get into the prison and examine things to hopefully find and prove this gentleman's guilt. We don't get a lot with this character or with the really shifting character, but it's interesting that they took the time to set up this particular plot point, and it'll be interesting to see how it progresses going forward. We get a really cute situation where Alma and Noel are going shopping, and Alma has made it seem like they're going on a date. It's like, Alma honey, you really need to make up your mind. Are you trying to be his big sister, or are you trying to get him to be your boyfriend? Which, I mean, he is a little young, but I mean, I've seen weirder shit in anime. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily protest or be upset or anything. I mean, again, it's anime, so I'm not going to freak out over it. But the idea that she's sitting there and exasperated and stuff as he wanders off to do his own thing is somewhat understandable, but is also kind of funny. I don't know who the girlie is that she ended up visiting with while he was off doing stuff, but the fact that while they're actually having this chat, that she ends up telling this girl that if Noel starts adding people to the party, that she's going to start bumping them off is definitely alarming, considering everything that he is up to. Although, given the kind of people that Noel would potentially want to add to a party, I'm pretty sure those characters would be able to hold their own against Alma anyway, and the dynamic of a bit of conflict and craziness would probably actually work really well within the show's formula, so I'm all for it. I also thought it was really funny that she comes out of the shop when he's like, make sure you spend your money on books and stuff, and the first thing she shows him is a teddy bear, and he's just like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. But then she shows him that she did buy a book, and she's all like, yeah, I got the book for 800k and the teddy bear for 200k, which is exactly what you budgeted. It's like, my dude, you're doing girl math inside of an anime. That's hilarious. And the fact that she wants this gigantic teddy bear to basically be a cuddle buddy was really funny to me. I don't know why that cracked me up as hard as it did, but it did, and it was just glorious. Now, of course, we've got to talk about what happened in the latter half of the episode. The entire situation with Noel and Koga, the fact that Koga and then Koga's master are both mistook Noel for a girl, with the master even going so far as to try to put moves on freaking Noel that would make Master Roshi blush. And the fact that Noel is just like, nah, I'm a dude, everybody, was really funny. Because, I mean, It kind of gave me like Cloud Strife Wall Market kind of vibes, and that was definitely amusing. Because, I mean, Noel wasn't even trying for that, and yet it happened. I also really liked the dynamic between Noel and Koga and how that was shaping up before the disgusting slave trader showed up. And, of course, dealing with the very ending of the episode, the fact that we saw Noel's gun in this prick's mouth, and then we heard a bang. I wonder whether Noel actually did finish him off, or whether something else happened. With it being Noel, I mean, either of these things are conceivable, because on one hand, there is a rule in storytelling that if you don't see somebody die, they're not dead. But on the other hand, I mean, we've seen Noel do some shady shit. Always within a certain context of his own morality, but definitely shady shit within the context of what we would normally consider normal. So it could really go either way, and the fact that they used it as a cliffhanger, at least in my opinion, was really smart. But overall, I super enjoyed this episode. This show continues to be an absolute treat to cover and an absolute joy to watch. I just love this kind of off-the-wall, completely insane edgelord kind of character. I don't know what it is about a guy like this, but for some reason, within anime, this kind of character just always just gelled for me. And Noel is definitely a fine specimen of this kind of characterization, because while he can definitely play into that, the show is good at balancing that aspect of him being that way against having really fun humor, and then having him interact with equally kooky characters who can stand their ground and who aren't just getting steamrolled by him every time we turn around. He wins some, he loses some, and that's incredibly refreshing. But that's just my take on the episode. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking if you're watching this, so let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you later. Bye!